For exercise 7C, I hear some people are having trouble where their data is just disappearing and the project is no longer working. So how can we fix that and continue on in exercise C? So for this exercise, I'm just going to completely start a new blank map. I'm going to call it exercise 7C and click OK. I'm going to delete that existing project. You won't see that. Oh, okay. So we'll call it exercise. You can just call it exercise 7C. And we'll go ahead and open our new project. The next step would be to link to the folder where we're storing our data for the textbook. So mine, I just stored it where it prompted to store the data when I downloaded it. So it's likely you just have it stored on your C drive in a folder called Esri Press. And your files will look slightly different. And you can just link right to this ArcGIS Pro folder. I have a second version of it that I use for edits and demos, so that's the one I'll be linking to. But yours will probably just stop at the GTKA Pro. From here, when it gets added to our catalog, we can expand the folder, and we'll see all the data that comes with this textbook. In particular, we're interested in the community housing data. Now, I'm not exactly sure what we need to get started, but I can tell from looking through the chapter 7C, on step 3 it talks about public housing. I'm going to need public housing data, and it says I'm looking for social services that are within a distance of public housing sites, and social services. So we'll just start adding in things that we think we need. Some of these data sets I've already created, but we can also go back to exercise 7A where we talk about preparing the project data. I'm going to just pull back to see what is originally on the data. So we have the city, we have census tracts, which it looks like they just have it, the symbol outline. I am just kind of going through. I don't need to recreate. So that's another thing to point out. In the chapter 7C, we created things like we joined the household income data to census tracts. So I can look at this attribute table and then confirm if I have the average area median income added, which I do. So we're good there. We can also look at, make sure we have everything else added. So I'm just skimming through this textbook to see what else has been added. Symbolize it using graduated colors, which I think we're going to want. So I'll just change that symbology real quick from single symbol to graduated colors. I'm going to base it on the median income, so change that field. And they want the orange to red, 5 classes. Okay, and then we're going to have to change these labels again. So I'm going to pause while I do that. Maybe. Well, you'll just have to watch and change it. So we have to, sorry, the pause button is hidden. Reverse symbol order. Is that what we want to do? Yeah. And then we want the upper value to be 30. Extremely low income. Okay, so I got all those changed. We'll just worry about that later. Okay, so and then in 7B we don't have to recreate any of our addresses because they still should be in your geodatabase. I'm just trying to figure out what we created. So we added public housing sites. Close this. Didn't we geocode something else besides public housing sites? Maybe not. Okay, well here we are in 7C. They want to create a buffer. So it looks like we start 7C with just our two buffers, or just our public housing sites. I'm looking at page 243. Just totally went in the wrong direction in the textbook, sorry about that. 253, we've got public housing, we've got our census data, and then you start creating your buffers. So if you've already created the buffers, like this is my public housing ring buffer that I've created before, you can just add it onto the map and change the symbology, which is a bit frustrating to have to go back and change the symbology, but it's better than starting from scratch, personally, I think. We're just going to stick with that for now. And change the transparency. I'm going to guess they wanted 40%. Yeah, so then from here, like it'll talk about different layers that you need. Like the social services, and that's just, you can just pull in from here, add that in, and if you've already, again, created those buffers, you can add those in, or if you have to recreate them based on where you are, where your window's shut down, you can. I'm trying to think if there's anything else you might need to add in. I don't know. But everything you've already created should be stored in your geodatabase already, because you created permanent files from any of your geoprocessing tools. You always create new feature classes or shapefiles from. So they should be there. So hopefully you just have to do a little bit of symbology work and you can pick up right where you left off.